Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape analysis and review of the 2020 season. New series I'll add throughout the offseason with the Pittsburgh Steelers season obviously long gone. I want to discuss some of the player performances and reviews and some of the good and bad and just overall how X player did throughout the year and just my overall evaluation of him. So we'll have hopefully several videos on different players on both sides of the ball throughout the season. Today, we're going to start with strong safety Terrell Edmonds. How good was Terrell Edmonds in 2020? And just to start at a baseline level, here are Edmonds' stats in 2020 in 15 games played. He had 68 tackles, 15 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 sack. Those stats come courtesy of Pro Football Reference. He played 84% of the snaps. He missed the Week 17 regular season finale against Cleveland due to a shoulder injury, only down for technically 12 starts in those 15 games, and his snap count was slightly reduced because oftentimes this year the Steelers went with a different package in their base defense, kind of a hybrid where they ran 3 cornerbacks and 1 safety. That 1 safety, of course, being Minka Fitzpatrick and Mike Hilton being the third corner against some 11 personnel that kept them in their base 3-4 defense and also covered slot receivers in 11. So that was one reason why Edmonds' snap count did slightly reduce in 2020. One other stat I wanted to mention, and this comes courtesy of our Josh Carney over on Steelers Depot, is Edmonds' missed tackle rate, and it's trended in the right direction. It really kind of held about the same in 2018 to 2019, but in 2020 it really dropped, and I think that's reflective of one of the best traits of Edmonds' game is his sure tackling. I know Edmonds gets a lot of criticism. We'll of course talk about some of the bad in this video, but just look at his missed tackle rate throughout the past 3 years. In 2018, 12%; 2019, 12.5%. But this past year, 2020, it fell all the way down to 9.2%, one of the best marks on the team. And for a good chunk of the season, until maybe the final month or so, that number was even lower. I believe in the 5 to 7% missed tackle range, which is an excellent number for anybody, especially a defensive back. And so that just kind of really shows that Edmonds has made improvements as a tackler, and he does not miss often. All right, I want to bring things to the tape, and I think the number one thing I like about Terrell Edmonds overall is his run defense, ability to fill the alley and be able to get downhill, make an impact in the run game as that kind of typical, classic strong safety type here, Week 5 against the Philadelphia Eagles. See the motion here brings Edmonds down. He's going to fill the alley right here, make the tackle on Miles Sanders. So just that physicality, put your face in the fan, face in the fire, and go ahead make the tackle against these running backs. A nice job here. Get low, drive his feet, and of course he gets help here from teammates. And so several examples of that here from Edmonds. We'll look from the top down view, fill in the alley, being physical, and making a run stop. Here's another good example from Edmonds Week 7 against the Tennessee Titans versus Derrick Henry, one of the best players in football this season, Offensive Player of the Year, and he's going to go ahead and defeat the potential crackback block of the receiver Corey Davis. And then as he's falling down, kind of getting shoved on the side here, he's able to make that falling tackle on Edmonds. Granted, maybe the shove kind of pushed his momentum into Henry a little bit, but anytime you can beat the crackback block by the receiver and tackle a 200 and 30 plus pound Derrick Henry, that's a pretty big play here on 2nd and 17, makes ensures and really forces 3rd and long. And so just overall here, a nice rep physicality. Edmonds really works best the closer he is to the line of scrimmage. And again, just grab those legs of Henry. You want to go low on him, make the tackle for I think a 1 yard gain on this play, and it's just a positive result overall. Couple examples of him filling the alley and playing good run defense week 10 against the Cincinnati Bengals. See Edmonds right here. And what I like here from Edmonds, one of his better reps of the entire season, is the ability to come to balance, to break down, put yourself in good positioning and good posture to make the tackle. So you see Edmonds, he reads it. He's going to come to balance, be able to chop his feet, break down, just a good posture overall. Shoulders over knees, knees over toes, and then explode, drive, and make the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Granted, of course, he's unblocked here, but as a safety, the extra man in the box, usually you're going to be the unblocked defender, and you better be able to make that play, make that tackle. He does right here. So just the physical act of making the tackle is important. Obviously, the overall goal here, but just the positioning, the technique, breaking down, coming to balance, and then shooting, driving, wrapping up. making the tackle, finishing the play, just all on display for Terrell Edmonds right here. Other example here against the Bengals, he's going to beat the insert block here from number 80, motioning inside. He's going to read the play, beat the block, and then contribute on the tackle on Bernard for, I believe, a 1 or 2 yard gain. So just quick reaction, doesn't get caught up in the wash here, and is able to defeat the block by the receiver and then finish, make the play. Just Edmonds, everything's gone faster for Edmonds. He's processing better. It still may not be at the level that you would like it to be in some regards. We'll talk about that in a moment, but overall, his processing and ability to play to that really athletic time speed that he had coming out of Virginia Tech. Now we're seeing that with him in year number 3. But that tackling is important near the line of scrimmage, but it's also equally, probably even more so important, in open space, in big playability. And, Mike Tomlin's mantra and coaching point is always don't let the good plays become great ones. Don't let the great plays become touchdowns. And here, a really important open field tackle, despite the negative play overall, a 26-yard completion to Michael Pittman. But if Edmonds does not make this tackle here, now we're talking about this being a double explosive play, potentially even a touchdown. So Pittman on this over route breaks a tackle of Cam Sutton and Steven Nelson, and then Edmonds able to make that tackle in space. Obviously, safety's last line of defense. You better have some good tacklers out there. You see that here from Edmonds. A nice job to be able to make the stop on Pittman, who's not a small dude, one of the bigger receivers in terms of being a slot guy potentially, and he's like 6 foot, 6'2", probably 200 plus pounds, whatever he is. He's a big dude, obviously. And so if we don't make the stop here, I mean, Hilton may make that tackle, but you're going to allow more yak. So a nice job here in the open field, and that's where you really see the value of a good tackling safety. Is while this is a negative play overall, you hate giving up a 20-yard gain. It doesn't become anything worse than that. Similar concept here. This play was luckily called back by, I think, a block in the back penalty or holding call on Glowinski, the guard here. Would have been a 68-yard completion, but let's assume that this play had not been wiped out by penalty. Edmonds with tremendous athleticism, effort, and angle to track Himes down and make this tackle, save what would have been a touchdown had the penalty had not been assessed and called. And so you just see Edmonds, the open field speed. It's not too often we get to see that real athletic ability kind of line up on tape perfectly, almost a 40-yard dash kind of deal. And he's just able to outrun the rest of the DBs. Obviously, a good play here by Joe Hayden as well. And again, these are negative plays overall for the Steelers defense. No one's excited or happy about the outcome of this play. And thank God wiped out by penalty. But you do see Edmonds with the effort, the angle, the tackle, the finish here to save a would-be touchdown. So just important to make those points as well. Again, you see where Edmonds starts whenever Himes catches this pass. He's on the other side of the field, able to track it down. He is a good athlete. He tested extremely well coming out of Virginia Tech. You see Edmonds here when Himes is over here on the other side of the field, essentially, and is able to track him down by taking that good angle and just being a really freaky athlete. And you see that on display on his otherwise negative rep for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then there was the Jacksonville game where Edmonds had not only one interception, but two of them in this game. Granted, both I think came against the rookie Jake Luton, but who cares? Edmonds, had not had an interception since his rookie year, which was just one on an overthrow, I believe. And this is not exactly a high level interception here, but it's also nothing to sneeze at either. A really nice one handed interception to bat the ball down, then pick it off and catch it. And we've seen Edmonds struggle to finish these plays, not capitalize on these opportunities. Did it not only once, but twice in this game. I think this was the second. I don't remember which one came first or not, but a great job here. And again, athletic ability, high pointing the football, the vertical, all the things that partially got him drafted, being a really impressive athlete for how big he is. And again, you're seeing that on display here, finishing the play, picking it off. And you know how much this one meant to him because you see the way the teammates, I mean, they get excited about any turnover, obviously, but I mean, everybody's pouring out here because they know Edmonds had been searching for that takeaway, that big play. They've been so fleeting over the last couple seasons. And so a big moment here and a win for Pittsburgh and a nice display of athletic ability for Terrell Edmonds. All right, now let's talk about Terrell Edmonds, the bad. And for Edmonds, in terms of the negatives on his scouting report and evaluation for 2020, you probably are already guessing what it is. It's most things related to coverage. He's a much better run defender and a box defender than he is someone who's playing in coverage. He does not get used as a single high safety too much, partially because Minka Fitzpatrick's so good at it, but partially because of Edmonds' own deficiencies here. He's in deep half safety, and this could be a tough play for sure. Trying to cover the deep half against his 7 corner route. And it's a good tackle, and you're seeing the good of Edmonds on display here. The angle, the physicality, the finish, getting the guy on the ground. And I know you're not every single, collision is going to force an incompletion, but you would like to see the ability here in this instance to be able to separate player from football. Edmonds, he's not extremely out leveraged. He reads it, he closes it, he's there on time. Can he make a play and separate player from ball? He's trying to get his hand in there, just can't do it. I know Logan Thomas is a good tight end, a big tight end. Easier said than done, but this is the recurring theme of Terrell Edmonds, where the ball skills, playing the pocket, playing through the hands, finishing the play with the ball in the air is where you're going to see him struggle the most. So, is this the worst play in the world? No, of course not. But it's an easy one that I found that kind of shows the issue he has in this game overall. Just playing the pocket, finishing. He reads the play. He knows where the ball's going. A great break on. He's in there right on time, but he can't separate player from ball. And that's always been his issue. Go back to week 16 against the Colts, and this overall is a good rep for Terrell Edmonds and a positive play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but could have been a better play. It could have been. Again, 7 route versus the tight end Jack Doyle. Nearly has the interception here, but just can't finish it to hands. They're not the best. The playmaking, it's limited overall. Again, he has 3 interceptions in he's now 3 seasons in the NFL. A really good chance here. Again, is this a tough play? Sure, it absolutely is. High point in the ball. You're seeing that athletic ability on display, but can you finish the play, make that big turnover in the lower red zone? Unfortunately, he can't. And honestly, I joked about this on Twitter at the time. Jack Doyle, the tight end here, number 84, actually probably plays the pocket here and separates player from ball better than I've ever seen Terrell Edmonds do it. Play up through the hand, separate the ball, and knock it out. That's stuff I would actually like to see from Edmonds more often. So kind of tongue in cheek here, but kind of not as well. Where Edmonds, again, is this a bad play overall? No, but could this have been a really great play for Pittsburgh early in the game, 0-0, maybe the Colts' first drive, I'm guessing, right here. And unfortunately, you can't finish the play with the interception. Finally, we'll take you back all the way to week one, the opener against the Giants. This is going to be 3rd and 14. Steelers do a good job on third down, especially rotating coverages, disguising things here. I think Cam Sutton, the nickel corner, is going to bail to the deep middle. They're going to rotate both Edmonds and Minka Fitzpatrick down. And Edmonds' responsibility here in this 3 deep, 4 under zone coverage is he's the hook curl defender. He's responsible for taking away basically any route from the hash to the number, that kind of hook curl route, and Darius Slayton's running a curl route here. Unfortunately, Edmonds never really gets enough width, doesn't have a good feel or processing for where the route's developing behind him. And Daniel Jones is able to fit that into Slayton for an 18-yard pickup and a conversion on third down. You got these guys backed up. It's third and forever. They punt. You got a short field. You're in a really good place if you get to stop here. But Edmonds late. He's slow to process and just doesn't have a good feel for where his zone is. You see him talking with Joe Hayden. Hayden has the deep third responsibility. I put that more on Edmonds than I do Joe Hayden, and you really don't see it from the end zone view too well right here. But Edmonds just does not get enough width here, does not really cover that whole curl zone, and the pass is complete, and the Giants move the stick. So again, just a feel for processing and zone coverage, and the closer he is to the line of scrimmage, the more downhill he's playing, the better off he is. Again, right here, too much overlap here. You see where Mike Hilton's at. He's got more width. He's playing closer to the number. He's taking away this curl route. Edmonds is not. You see it mirrored on both sides here, and it gives up the completion, and I put that on Terrell Edmonds. So that's my last clip of the negative of his season. So just kind of a mini scouting report on Edmonds' 2020 season. In terms of the good, I have a couple bullet points for the good of his game. I like the physicality, the effort that he shows, the athleticism that he displays, ability to fill the alley might be his most impressive trait. Put his face in the fan, be a good run defender, really solid run support as that eighth man into the box. His overall tackling, both near the line of scrimmage and in the open field, ability to break down, come to balance in space is really important. Overall, I know that last clip kind of didn't show it too well, but his positioning, he doesn't seem to blow a lot of coverages or miss assignments or obvious issues like that. And there has been at least some improvement in coverage, some improvement at the catch point, not nearly as bad as it was in 2017. And occasionally, as that Jacksonville game showed, some playmaking ability. For the bad, couple of bullet points as well. The lack of a single high, deep middle threat. He's really an underneath guy, robber coverage, potentially not going to be that true center fielder. And again, he wasn't really billed or ever drafted to be that type of guy, but there is some coverage, I think, limitations with him. A deep half, underneath guy, primarily not someone you really like in a lot of man coverage either, despite his size and athletic tools. And that gets to the next point of struggling to play the pocket consistently. He's able to tackle and wrap up and finish, but he can't play through the hands despite a guy that has the size and the length and the overall build that you think he would be, someone that can separate player from ball. And then just overall, the obvious limited playmaking ability. Instincts are not great. He's nowhere near the Minka Fitzpatrick type level. And I think although he'll continue to show improvement mentally and process and grow the way that, say, Bud Dupree has, he's never going to be a great playmaker. He kind of is closer to a ceiling than other younger players potentially. And he's probably just going to be a solid box safety and good run defender. But I don't necessarily see a whole lot more in terms of the meat on the bone left in Terrell Edmonds' game. But he's been solid, and I think he does get a bad rap sometimes too much. He was probably never going to live up to quite those first round expectations, but he's not an Artie Burns. He's not a Jarvis Jones. He's not a bust. He's just a player that's probably drafted a round too high. And while he does not provide immense upside, I think his floor has been pretty high as well. He definitely has improved year by year, and we'll see how he looks in 2021. He's still only going to be, 24, 25 years old. A young guy, came out a year early out of Virginia Tech. So I'm not going to say his growth and development is over quite yet. So that's my evaluation of Terrell Edmonds. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know who you think we should profile next for our season in review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.